Have they seen us?
They have.
Dynasty Warriors is a great example of the canyon that separates Japanese and Western gamers. The canyon of preference, that is. The Pacific is actually an ocean. I guess the polite way of saying it is that in America, Dynasty Warriors is a lot less popular. The honest way of saying it is that no one gives a shit. So how does Tecmo Koei make one of its more popular franchises attractive to the Western gamer? Well, evidently, it's as easy as adding blood, lessening the RPG elements, and pretending to be God of War. This is Warriors Legends of Troy for the PlayStation 3. Alright, so I guess the whole pretending to be God of War thing was kind of harsh, but it does share a few parallels. Released back in March, Warriors Legends of Troy is a hack-and-slash action game based on ancient mythology. In this case, the story of the Trojan War. The game retells the abduction of Helen, the story of the victorious Trojan Horse, and all the bloodshed in between. And rest assured, there's a lot of bloodshed in between. So at least ostensibly, Legends of Troy is on the right track. The theme is far more palatable to Western gamers, and the increased barbarism, if somewhat insulting, is also reflective of industry truths. Legends of Troy seems to have a much better chance of courting American audiences than Dynasty Warriors, but unfortunately, it isn't any fun. You play each level as a different Greek or Trojan warrior. You'd think playing as different men from different armies, from different places, might change the gameplay, but it doesn't. This game is a quintessential hack-and-slash title, with each of its mythological warriors acting as devout practitioners of the sacred combat style Square Buttonicus Mashicus. In addition to being repetitive, that doesn't even make sense. Legends of Troy gives you several objectives over the course of a chapter, some of which are optional, most of which involve bleeding people dry. You might have to save the peasants, but you do that by mashing your way through an enemy horde. You might have to clear a roadway, but you do that by mashing your way through an enemy horde. Obviously, the problem here is that if you're gonna have repetitive gameplay, you should at least have a diverse selection of objectives to break that gameplay up. Now, this game does not. Evidently, diverse gameplay was not yet invented. And speaking of gameplay, get acquainted with the square button, because Legends of Troy, despite its best efforts, is a button masher. Now the good thing is, the game does reward you for diversifying your attacks. For example, if you use a triangle attack at just the right time, your strikes will be more powerful than if you'd simply hammered the same button. The game also gives you bonus points for mixing up your offense, which can then be spent on new items. But the problem is, you never really have to do those things. You're kind of forcing yourself to do them if you even bother doing them at all. If you're anything like me, you just spam the hell out of the square button. Although, I gotta tell you, picking up a spear and then throwing it through someone's chest, man, that is priceless. That is what video games are about. So if you like Dynasty Warriors, you'll probably enjoy playing a familiar game in a new setting. But if you don't like Dynasty Warriors, I honestly can't imagine you'd like this one either. That's a bit of a problem considering that Warriors Legends of Troy is trying to reach that new audience. Well, it turns out all it's really reaching is averageness. Average. This game isn't very good.